Late night with the dragon. Late night with the dragon. What's up, y'all? Uh, just figure I'd come on and talk to y'all for a few. I want to talk about tonight why life is so easy. Life is so easy. It just baffles me how easy life is and how easy life can be, but people make it so hard on themselves. Um, People make it hard on themselves by thinking they're an island. They could do everything by themselves. And people make it hard on themselves by having limited beliefs, having limited beliefs. Okay. I remember when I was like 18, 19, 21 years old, and I figured out how much I think I was like 17, 18, because I moved out my mother and father house when I was like 17. And I remember adding up, what it costs to live, what it costs to survive. And I was like, God, okay, I need to make $10 an hour. I have to make $10 an hour. If I don't make $10 an hour, I can't pay all my bills. And that's just paying my bills. That's not even having extra money to do extra things. That's just paying my bills. And this is back in like 19, late 90s, mid or late 90s, mid 90s, somewhere up in there. And anyhow, I think it's like 95. I remember I was like, I gotta make $10 an hour. So any job I apply to, I always put $10 an hour, $10 an hour, every job. And I was like, I'm not settling for anything less than $10 an hour. And of course, the universe had to give it to me. The universe had to give me a job that paid $10 an hour. Okay. So I ended up getting a job. I think it was at Pep Boys auto parts. I believe that's the one that first paid me $10 an hour. Something, it was one of these jobs I was working at. I believe it was Pep Boys, but let's just say Pep Boys auto parts. I was making like $10 an hour, right? And um a couple people was even jealous of me. I don't know how they found out how much money I made, but a couple people was jealous of me. I think this one dude, he found out and he told everybody. Everybody was jealous of me. And I was like, I didn't even know why I was able to make $10 an hour just starting, but I knew I had experience. I knew I had a lot of experience. Matter of fact, turned out I had more experience than anybody there, even at like 17, 18, 19 years old, right? Because I worked at Rose Auto Parts when I was like 14 years old. No, when I was like 16 years old. And I worked at Jiffy Lube and all that. Anyhow, long story short, from that point, I realized all I had to do was figure out what I wanted and then stick to that. Figure out exactly what I wanted and stick to that. Be unmovable in that. That's universe. This is what I want. I'm not taking anything less. I'm not taking anything less, right? So consciously and subconsciously, I realized what I had did. I didn't even know about manifesting. I didn't even know the word manifesting, what it truly meant back then. I thought you just grow up, get a job, figure out how much money you need to be made, learn a skill that makes that much money, and just keep it pushing, right? But it was beyond me learning a skill that made me to make $10 an hour. I literally manifested it because I know people with a lot of skill and they still not making the money that they want to make, right? So anyhow, when I was working at Pep Boys, I'm like, no, I need more money because I need money for this, for that. I want to hang out, all this type of stuff, right? So sure enough, and I specifically said I want a type of job that I could make cash money, hustle. Sure enough, I met somebody that they was doing waiter work. They was a waiter in a restaurant, and they was like they make X amount of money, and I was like, dang, that's what's up. I want to make that much money. So I got a job at the Olive Garden, and I was surprised I got the job at the Olive Garden. I got the job at the Olive Garden. Man, I ended up making like $200 a night. And I was like, what? This is it. So obviously, I worked at Pep Boys for not too long, maybe like another week or 2 weeks, and just fully 100% worked at Olive Garden. And I didn't even have to work all week, all shift. I only work like Thursday. I only work Friday night, all yay Saturday, all yay Sunday. So my weekends was shot. I was just working, right? Which was perfectly fine with me because I'm not a hangout club person anyway. So, in one weekend, sometimes I'll make $600, $1,000. This is back in like the early 90s. And I from then I said, man, I need more money. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I need more money. I want to take vacations. I want to do this. I want to do that. So then, sure, right there at the Olive Garden, I was actually working with a guy that sold cars, or he was actually trying to sell cars. He didn't know how to sell cars, but he was trying. So me and him ended up talking, and he told me, he buy cars at the auction and he tried to fix them up and sell them, but he didn't know what he was doing. Mind you, I had already took auto mechanics class in high school. I was already working in the auto parts stores. I knew all about cars. Enough, I should say. I knew enough about vehicles. So I'm like, bro, like put me on, like teach me or put me on to sell cars too. And I'll show you how to fix them up and all this type of stuff, right? Matter of fact, I wish I knew where that guy was. Man, I need to thank that guy because I made a lot of money between knowing him, and by the time I was 22 years old, I made somewhere around $300,000 ran through my bank account. Anyhow, I started selling cars. I was buying them myself, fixing them myself, me and another buddy, and flipping them. We had some rough times, but overall we straightened it out, and then boom, we took off. Right, we had a nice spot. We would advertise them. Back then we had Auto Trader. We would advertise them, and we just took off. Right, I don't know what happened. I think what happened was the same thing happened with everybody that makes a lot of money. You make so much money and you just start blowing it, throwing it away, which is what happens. I just was blowing the money, throwing it away. I'd go to New York for the weekend just to go shopping and come right back. I was doing like crazy stuff like that. I went to live in England for like 8 months. I was blowing money over there and stuff like that. I lived in New York for 8 months, came back. So by the time I was like 23, um, I had went through all my money. I remember specifically I was 23 years old. I went through all my money. I was sitting in my room and I had no money. 23 years old. I'm like, dang, why the fuck did I take these vacations and go here and go there? I should have stayed with my business, making money and all this type of stuff. So I met this girl, and things went kind of like from, I wouldn't say bad to worse, but they didn't exactly go up. They kind of stayed the same. And long story short, we broke up. I met my oldest son mom. We got married after like 6 months. I was coming back. I was making a comeback. I started selling cars again. Business was good. I was making money. Everything was excellent. I was making a strong comeback. Me and her was living a good life and all that type of stuff. So it didn't work out with my oldest son mom. I said, forget it. I had went to jail on a charge, um, and stuff like that. Um, I only spent a night in jail. It wasn't too bad. Um, um, and then I got out and I had a van. I had a conversion van that I was gonna build out for us, the family. My new baby on the way, my new son on the way to travel. And long story short, I ended up doing it myself solo. I was in a van traveling, mostly in Florida, South Florida, but I was hitting every beach from Key West to North Florida, and I would even make runs to Atlanta sometimes and hang out and come back. And I probably did that for like a year. And I was able to fund that lifestyle because I was still selling cars a little bit. And what I was doing was, I had people on payment plans. So, people would buy cars from me and they would pay me every week or every month. And, thank the God in me, I had people that were paying faithfully. So, people would pay me and that gave me residual income. And then on top of it, I was actually boxing and training. So I was making money from that. Mind you, I'm living in a van, so I don't need a lot of money. I didn't need a lot of money. I just needed gas money, maintenance for the vehicle money. I wasn't buying no clothes and all that fancy stuff. At that time, if I made $500 a month, I was good. I remember one time I was like, sure, I only need $300 this month, you know. Um, so life was good. That was probably one of the happiest times of my life. Besides, now that I have my offsprings, they're happy and healthy. I have a lot of land. I feel very free, like I did back then. Now, between 30, I would say, uh, probably a little bit before, between 28, somewhere between 27, 28, when I started paying rent, when I moved out my van, and I started paying rent. That's the biggest mistake I made. When I moved out my van and started paying rent, and I did it for a woman. I did it for a woman because obviously, not every woman could put up with that lifestyle, but she met me like that. She met me in the van. She met me in the van. She didn't really have a problem with it. She hung out with me in the van for like 6 months. She had her own, she didn't have her own place, but she lived in a regular apartment with her family. And, she hung out with me and her family was cool. Her family loved me. And everybody knew I lived in a van. Matter of fact, I parked it outside their apartment and we would all hang out all the time and stuff like that. Anyhow, she was like, baby, let's try to get a little apartment. Anyhow, I found something, pretty cheap for back then. I think I was paying like $125 a shift, like I call a shift a week. Um, and I had a little job. I was working at TGI Fridays on South Beach, and I was paying for it. But I'm solely working 8 hours a day, and I'm gonna call it a day because that's what it was. I was working 8 hours a day just to pay for this little studio apartment. Okay. And that went on from 28 till I was about 30, I want to say 36, 37, up in there. I was paying rent, straight rent, all those years, right? That is what held me back. That is what took my wealth. Okay. Had I stayed in a van, stayed saving money, stay working, I don't care if I was able to save $100, $200 a month, just in 1 year, I would have had enough money to buy a piece of land. And knowing what I know now, shit, I wouldn't even needed that. I would have just needed a couple $100 to put down on the land and then just keep paying on my land. Right. But I would say between 27 and 37, my wealth was stolen in them 10 years. It was stolen by me paying rent. Okay. the same thing happened to me by the time I was about 37, 36, 37, and I had to move into my van again. I got evicted from a little studio apartment that I was renting. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I said I would never rent again. I would never rent again. I told my baby mom, look, I'm gonna live in my truck. You know, it's gonna be better. My son's gonna live with you. You know, always be with you at night. But I'm gonna pick him up from school, drop him to school, whatever I need to do, because now I'm not gonna have to work so hard. Number one, and number two, now I don't live in one particular place, so I can park at night and rest wherever I rest. And, meaning I could park not too far from you, or if you allow me, I could park in your parking lot and just, be able to drop my son off and pick him up. So I did that on and off for about 2 years. I say on and off because I had friends that I would stay by their place sometimes. They allow me, I had a girlfriend every now and then. And, I would stay at my mom and father place, every now and then. So, but overall, I was living in my little pickup truck, and I loved it. I started off in a Suburban, then I went to a smaller vehicle, a pickup truck, and I loved it. It was some of the best times of my life. I met some of the realest people, and it was some of the best times in my life, living that lifestyle. So fast forward, um, when I got to about 39, 38, 39 years old, I said, man, I can't just keep living in my vehicle, but I need to live somewhere. So I finally figured out after like 2 years of living on and off in my vehicle how to buy land. How to buy land, because it was pretty much going to be impossible for me to buy a house because, you needed all this money to put down on a house. You needed steady income, all the stuff you needed to buy a house conventionally. I didn't have it. I had heard about renting to own a house, but when I had looked into the type of house, I would have to buy, I didn't want to do all that fixing up and shit like that. Um, and it just wasn't for me. So I finally figured out how to buy land. Because again, I set it in my mind, I'm gonna buy land. I'm not doing anything else but buying land. The universe had no choice but to give me a way to buy land in the situation I was in which I only had a few $100s, okay? And I had saved a lot of money in that time, but I ended up blowing it. Stuff would come up, stuff like that. And finally, when I figured out how to buy land, I only had maybe like a few $100s. I remember giving a lady $350. I gave her $350. I put down on my land. Long story short, I bought it for 9,000. Some like 3 or 6 months later, somebody offered me 16,000. After closing all the fees, I ended up with 4,500. It was amazing to me. I had made 4,500 in like 3 or 6 months. It would have took me like a couple years to save that money. You know what I'm saying? So anyhow, I took the money, and at that time, Bitcoin came out, and I bought a Bitcoin for like $700, paid some bills, did a bunch of stuff, right? Bitcoin shot all the way up to 20,000. I couldn't believe it. By the time it dropped down to 17,000, I just sold, and I took the 17,000. I bought a regular house. I still have the house with a business partner. We got it rented out, but he's handling everything. I don't have too much worry about it. I paid off a bunch of bills. I did a bunch of stuff with the money. I should have went back and bought some more Bitcoin when it dropped all the way to 3,000, and but I didn't, but I should have. But at least a smart thing I did was I started buying property. So I brought that house. um I ended up buying a travel trailer, living in my travel trailer in Florida, rented out my house. Um, and then not too long after that, I had met my ex-wife, moved in her house. We worked pretty well together, but we just had different mindsets. Things didn't work out. And long story short, I moved to North Carolina September 2019. So between 2017, 2016, somewhere around 2016, actually, yeah, between 2016 and 2019, I was doing very well. Actually, 2015, I was doing well also. That's a whole nother story what happened to me in 2015. But I was playing the lottery hard and I was winning and I was living off the lottery. But anyhow, I'm here now in North Carolina, came to North Carolina. Me and my ex, my offspring's mom, we try to rekindle things by 2020. And I was in a marriage, but it was just a ceremony marriage. So I didn't have to go through a conventional divorce. You know what I'm saying? So, anyhow, me and my ex-wife, we pretty much call it kaputs. And I got back with my offspring's mom. And, we trying to work it out and stuff for the sake of my offsprings. And that didn't work out. So long story short, though, we had got a house, a 5-bedroom house. And, when it didn't work out, I moved out, left the house. And then I bought my land. Actually bought my land before I moved out. I bought my land August 2020 with 4 other business partners. And my business partners and I, we're doing pretty well. We bought our land. Anyhow, we fell out and stuff over time. But between 2021 and 2023, I had bought, more property, a lot more property, like over 25 properties. And a lot of them I bought for 200 and 800, stuff like that. And, I still have all those properties, to now. So what life has taught me is my belief system. Because of my belief system, anything I actually put my mind to, like, look, this is what it's going to be. I had put my mind to having a bunch of land, a bunch of properties. Boom. The universe just kept bringing me land and properties and deals. Because I had set my mind on it. It was unmovable. Okay. Even the last female I dated, she had made a wheel board describing the man she wanted, and she manifested me. I came out of it, I thought I was the man that she manifested from that wheel board, but obviously I wasn't, because me and her not together. But it was interesting to see, though, everything she had put in that wheel board, I pretty much fit the description. For the most part, I pretty much fit the description. And I had wrote down something of a woman I wanted to manifest, and she had pretty much fit the description. You know what I'm saying? I think we broke up because life happens, and life does happen, and circumstances. And, like I said, I think she lost respect for me, and it was downhill from then. But the idea is, anything you want in life is very simple to obtain. Very, very simple to obtain. It's all in your belief system. It's all in your belief system. You have to have a mindset of unmove. Like Jesus said, a lot of y'all believe in Jesus. But you don't listen to Jesus. Jesus said, if you believe that mountain move, the mountain could move. If you had faith as a mustard seed, you could tell a mountain to move and it'll move. The reason why we get up every day is because we believe, we know we're going to get up. We know we're going to get up. Start talking about, oh, I don't know if I'm going to get up tomorrow, and just negative talk like that, and see one day, because that's what it'll be, one day you don't get up, or it's hard for you to get up, or you become bedridden. It's all in the words you speak. It's all in the things you know and believe about your life. Just like when I was a teenager and I said I have to make $10 an hour, just like when I was in my actually when I turned 24, 25 and I wanted to get married and I met my oldest son mom, um um that was a manifestation because at the time she was everything that I wanted to manifest. But again, life happened, and that's why things didn't work out with me and her circumstances. And again, when I was in my late 30s and I manifested the land because I was unmovable. It took 2 years, mind you. It doesn't always happen overnight. It took 2 years for me to manifest my first piece of land. It took 2 years for me to manifest my first piece of land. And part of that was I wasn't fully focused on it. I was winning and hitting the lottery so much. I was more embedded in winning the lottery and stuff like that. And but as soon as I stopped focusing so much on the lottery, and I'm like, look, I just need to get a piece of land and park a like trailer on there and sit my ass down somewhere first, get some stability, As soon as I did that, so I shouldn't even say 2 years because from the time I made up my mind to the time I actually manifested the land, it probably took a few months. It probably took a few months because I remember specifically I sat my ass down, watched every YouTube video on land, was Googling land like crazy. And as you know, these cell phones, once you start talking about it or thinking about it, everything start popping up in your phone, right? Matter of fact, that's how some of y'all found me and found my channel. You just started talking about it, and everything I talk about mostly is land. Y'all find my channel. A lot of y'all be like, I don't know how I found your channel, but thank God. But that's how y'all found my channel. Y'all was talking about land. Anyhow, and even moving forward 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, I was able to buy all these properties and amass it because I was unmovable in what I wanted. Now I'm at another point in my life where I'm unmovable in wanting a specific woman, wanting a specific pickup truck. I want a full size 4x4 tricked out uh, suburban or pickup truck, right? Um, that's what I'm manifesting next. And I actually found one. A white one. And I'm manifesting it. I'm manifesting it or something similar to it. And I'm manifesting that's pretty much it because everything else that I've been manifesting has been coming through. My properties are doing well on Airbnb. My contracting business picking back up. Everything in my life is doing very, very well. My offsprings are happy, healthy, wealthy. I see my offsprings like pretty much every year. My oldest son is going to move to North Carolina by March. He's supposed to be coming up here and from Florida to North Carolina sometime next month. And just to visit, then he's going to go back to Florida and come back in March. So my life is doing pretty well. I don't live outside my means. I live a very minimalistic lifestyle. I eat well every day. Y'all know I'm a raw food vegan. I do eat out and meat every now and then, but only, like if I'm invited to a party or I'm hanging out with people or stuff like that. But I don't buy food and I don't cook. I just eat raw. I just buy raw food. When I go in a grocery store, I go just to the produce section. I buy nothing but raw fruits and vegetables, right? And I juice it all up and I drink it like a juice, right? I made a fire juice the other day with carrots and watermelon. Oh man, I gotta make that every year, man. That thing fired me up and it's making my skin like really nice. My energy, my muscles. Like I'm toning up and I'm not even working out. It's crazy. But anyhow, are working out like the way my body's toning up, it's like amazing because you would think I'm working out like crazy, but I'm not. I do my little sit-ups and push-ups, but I'm just getting really really good results just from consuming the right foods, raw foods. You know what I'm saying? And even my friends around me now, I have a lot of good friends. All my friends have a good net worth. And who's this call? I call them back. All my friends have a good network, and I surround myself with people that are positive and business minded and stuff like that. Because if you surround yourself with a certain type of people, if you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, guess who's going to be the 6th millionaire? So I surround myself with people that are doing great things financially. I surround myself with people that are doing great things financially. If they're not doing great things in other parts of their life, at least they're doing great things in their life financially. So that's who I surround myself with, to be around that energy, right? And even my friends, I manifested these friends. And they all came from, them wanting me to work on their house, and we turned out to be great friends. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you guys, life is very easy. You can have your dream life. You can have your dream life. Everything I wanted to manifest it literally has manifested. Okay. I remember I was like, man, if I become a billionaire, the only thing I'm gonna buy is a yacht. Soon as I said that, my buddy John called me, I think the next year, hey man, you wanna go out on my boat? And I just happened to be at my other property in Roper, and I went over and we was hanging out on a boat. I'm like, man, I'm already on a boat hanging out. And it's just the universe getting me used to being on a boat. Okay. So everything I ever wanted to manifest it, I've actually manifested. That's why you have to be careful, be mindful of the words you speak, the things you put out there in the universe. Okay. Now I'm manifesting, like I say, the exact perfect woman for me. I'm manifesting a certain type of vehicle. I'm manifesting that my business keep going well. All my businesses keep going well. I have a university. I'm teaching about 30 students. I just got 2 new students altogether. Some of my students I teach one-on-one, some I teach as a group. Everything is just going really well for me. And I realize it's all because of my belief system. It's your belief system. Stop believing the only way you're going to make money is by having a job, going to college, get a job. Stop believing that. It's a Jedi mind trick. Millionaires, billionaires don't become millionaires and billionaires, most of them, by going to college and getting a job. They become millionaires and billionaires when they wake up one freaking day and realize, I need to quit this fucking job. Bill Gates quit college after he read a book and realized he's wasting his freaking time in college. Mark Zuckerberg, all these millionaires and billionaires realize they just needed to go do what they want to do. And that's what they did. The fuck? Somebody's shooting at fireworks. They just went and did what they wanted to do, and they started doing it. Bill Gates started Microsoft. Mark Zuckerberg, he actually stole Facebook, but anyhow, he made Facebook better. And long story short, most millionaires and billionaires, even Donald Trump, make all these millions from real estate. They didn't make all this money because of no freaking education. They made money because they started believing in themselves. They made money because of their belief system. Okay? Now, life happens. Life is going to throw you a monkey wrench. Life happens, okay? This is what fucks everybody up. When life happens, you have to hang in there. You have to hang in there, okay? You can't just give up. Remember, you're manifesting something greater than what you're going through. You are manifesting something greater than what you are going through, okay? Whatever you're going through, you just got to go through it. You just got to go through it. It's part of the process. It's part of the process of making you a greater individual and of making you better. It's a part of the process, whatever you're going through. Okay. I know you want to be a lawyer. I know you want to be a businessman. I know you want to be a real estate mogul, but your husband, your wife ain't with it. Every time you turn around, you got to fix the vehicle so you can't afford to buy property. A lot of you tell me that you can't get land because every time you turn around, your baby mama, your significant other is in your pocket. You know, you just going through all emotions. It's okay. It's okay. I promise you. Just go through the motions. Just go through the motions, but don't, that's all came into your life to take you off your focus. Don't come off your focus. Stay on your focus. It doesn't matter what you go through. Stay on your focus. It's a part of the process for what you're manifesting. You can't say, God, give me strength and expect life to be easy. You got to be careful. A lot of y'all, especially women, be like, you're a strong, independent woman. That's why y'all be having life so hard. Stop telling God to give you strength. When a body lifter wants strength, what he do? Lift heavy weights. If you want strength, you're going to be lifting some heavy weights in your life. Stop asking for strength. Ask for exactly what you want. Health, wealth, riches, happiness. Okay? Only people that are burdensome ask for strength. Stop asking for strength. Don't even joke about it. Okay? Don't even joke about it. Every year y'all get up, y'all need to say thank you. Thank you, Creator of Balanced Universe, for giving me life, health, wealth, and strength, me and my loved ones and my offsprings. I'm telling you, life is simple. I was just laying here thinking how grateful I am, how thankful I am for all my loved ones, my friends, my family. Everybody just been true and real with me. Everybody been genuine with me. Everybody that give to me without grudgingly or of a necessity. You know, everybody that you know, grateful for me being in their life. Everybody that show they're grateful for me being in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just grateful for them. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like I say, you know, there are people that, you know, were ungrateful for me being in their life and unappreciative and stuff like that. And I had to get rid of a couple of those people recently out of my life because, you know, it was like I was a nuisance to them, or I was bothering them, or messing up their mojo and their happiness, you know. So when people are not happy with you in their life, you gotta let them go find their happiness. You are not gonna make everybody happy. You will not make everybody happy. Just because you are happy, you are doing your thing. Some people, their happiness is somewhere else. Sometimes them seeing you in your happiness makes them unhappy because they're like, how this motherfucker happy and I ain't happy. So you got to let that negative energy out of your life. You got to let that negative energy out of your life. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Anyhow, shoot, that's it, man. That's all I got for y'all. Y'all get in my mastermind, man. 754-229-0940. 754-229-0940. It's $11. Get up on in there. $11. If you got $10, that's fine. $8, that's fine. $5, that's fine. Just show me show me something. Show me something. Okay. Give some type of initiative, okay? And like I said, I have a lifetime membership for $222. Okay, for $222, you're in there for a lifetime. Okay, and you could make payments on that. All right. I got many different packages. It'll change your life. You'll learn something at minimum. All right, 754-229-0940. All right, love y'all. Peace.